Let's read my followers' stories. First story. Title: Disconnected. I'm Alex, 16, and like most kids my age, I'm glued to my phone. It's my window to the world, my source of entertainment, and my connection to friends. I never thought it would become a problem, but lately, it's felt more like a prison than a portal. It all started innocently enough. I'd spend a few minutes here and there playing games, checking social media, or watching videos. Those minutes quickly turned into hours. I found myself staying up late scrolling through endless feeds, my eyes burning as the hours ticked by. My grades began to slip, and my parents noticed I was becoming more withdrawn. They'd call my name, and I wouldn't hear them. I'd be too engrossed in whatever was happening on my screen. One evening, my mum tried to talk to me about it. She stood in my doorway, her face etched with worry. "Alex, you're spending too much time on that thing. It's not healthy." Yeah, I know," I replied without looking up from my screen. "I'm serious," she continued, her voice tinged with concern. "You need to cut back. It's affecting your schoolwork and your relationships." I shrugged her off, not wanting to have the conversation. But deep down, I knew she was right. I could feel myself slipping, losing touch with the real world. I was addicted, but admitting it felt like admitting defeat. The wake-up call came one afternoon when I was hanging out with my friends at the park. We used to play basketball or ride our bikes, but now we just sat in a circle, each of us staring at our phones. I looked up and realized that we weren't even talking to each other. We were all together but completely disconnected. Feeling a mix of sadness and frustration, I decided to do something about it. That night, I powered down my phone and put it in a drawer. The first few hours were torture. I felt restless, anxious, like I was missing out on something important. But I forced myself to push through it. The next day at school, I noticed things I hadn't in a long time. The way the sun streamed through the windows, the sound of birds outside, the chatter of students in the hallways. I started paying attention in class again, and my teachers seemed pleasantly surprised when I actually participated. I reached out to my friends and suggested we do something different that weekend. "How about we go hiking? Leave our phones at home and just enjoy nature." They looked at me like I was crazy, but eventually, they agreed. We drove out to a nearby trail and started our hike. At first, it was awkward. We didn't know what to talk about without the constant distraction of our phones. But as we walked and talked, something amazing happened. We reconnected. We laughed about old memories, shared stories, and really listened to each other. The hike was tiring, but it felt good to move, to breathe fresh air, and to be present. By the time we reached the top of the trail, we were all smiling, genuinely happy. That experience changed me. I realized how much I'd been missing out on by being glued to my phone. I still use it, of course, but now I'm more mindful. I set limits for myself, and I make an effort to engage with the world around me. My relationship with my parents improved, too. I started helping out more at home, talking to them about my day, and actually listening when they spoke to me. I could see the relief in their eyes, and it felt good to know I was making them proud. My grades went up, and I found new interests. I joined the school's photography club, picking up a camera for the first time in years. Capturing the world through a lens gave me a new perspective, one that didn't rely on a screen. Photography became more than a hobby, it became a passion. I started to see the beauty in everyday moments, the way the light hit the leaves in the park, the expressions on people's faces as they went about their day. I felt connected to the world in a way I hadn't in a long time. As my screen time decreased, my social life flourished. I reconnected with old friends and made new ones. We started doing more activities together that didn't involve phones. We'd go for bike rides, have game nights, or just hang out and talk. It felt refreshing, like a breath of fresh air after being cooped up for too long. My friends and I still hike sometimes, and we've made it a tradition to have phone-free weekends. It's our way of reminding ourselves that while technology is great, it's the real-world connections that truly matter. I also started paying more attention to my mental and physical health. Without the constant distraction of my phone, I found time to exercise, read, and pursue hobbies I'd neglected. I even started meditating, something I never thought I'd do. It helped me clear my mind and stay focused. Looking back, I see how easy it was to fall into the trap of phone addiction. It's everywhere, and it's so tempting to just lose yourself in the endless scroll. But now, I know the value of disconnecting, of being present in the moment. One day, as I stood by the lake, watching the sunset, I realized how much had changed. The water, once a mirror of my turmoil, now reflected the peaceful sky above. I knew that we would weather any storm as long as we had each other. Our family dinners became a time of sharing and connection again. We would talk about our days, our dreams, and our worries. The laughter that had been missing for so long returned, filling the house with warmth and light. We faced our challenges head on, together, finding strength in our bond. Dad started to teach me more about fixing things, passing on the skills that had once defined him. We spent weekends working on projects around the house, turning broken items into something new and useful. Each completed project was a testament to our resilience and determination. Mom's baking business grew, and soon we were delivering orders to people all over town. The community rallied around us, offering support and encouragement. It felt good to be part of something bigger, to know that we weren't alone in our struggles. Through it all, I learned that family isn't just about being there for the good times. It's about standing together in the face of adversity, finding strength in each other, and never giving up. No matter how dark the storm, there is always hope on the horizon. So here I am, 16 and learning to balance. Life is brighter, richer, and more meaningful without the constant glow of a screen. And for the first time in a long time, I feel truly connected to my friends, my family, and myself. Second story. Title: The Heart of the Storm. I'm Liam, 13, with a mop of unruly brown hair and eyes that everyone says mirror the deep blue of the nearby lake. Lately, life has been tough. My family used to be happy and close-knit, but everything changed when Dad lost his job at the factory. Dad was always the strong one, able to fix anything and always smiling. He could make a broken chair look brand new and could coax laughter out of the most stubborn of frowns. But after he lost his job, he became distant and irritable. He spends hours staring out the window, lost in his thoughts. The atmosphere at home grew tense and heavy, nothing like it used to be. Mom's doing her best to hold everything together. She's taken extra shifts at the diner, working long hours and coming home exhausted. The stress is wearing her down. I can see the worry lines deepening on her face, and her laughter, when it comes, feels forced, a shadow of what it used to be. She tries to hide it, but I see the way her hands tremble when she thinks no one is looking. At school, my grades have started to slip. My friends have noticed I'm quieter, more withdrawn, but they don't know how to help. The teachers are patient, but I can feel their concern every time I turn in an assignment late or half finished. They give me extra time and offer words of encouragement, but it's hard to focus on algebra when my mind is filled with worry about my family. One stormy afternoon, I found myself at the lake. The rain poured down, matching my turbulent emotions. I sat on a rock by the water's edge, watching the raindrops create ripples on the surface. It was here, in the heart of the storm, that I felt most at peace. The chaos of the storm outside seemed to mirror the chaos inside me, and somehow, that brought a strange sense of calm. As I stared out at the lake, an idea began to form. I remembered how Dad used to take me fishing and how we would talk for hours, sharing stories and dreams. Maybe, just maybe, I could find a way to bring that connection back. Determined, I returned home, dripping wet but with a newfound resolve. I approached Dad, who was sitting in his usual spot by the window. "Dad, do you want to go fishing tomorrow?" I asked, trying to sound steady and hopeful. He looked up, surprise flickering in his eyes. He hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Sure, Liam, we can do that." The next morning, the storm had passed, leaving the air crisp and the sky clear. We packed our gear and headed to the lake. As we cast our lines into the water, the silence between us was comfortable, filled with the sounds of nature waking up. The sun glinted off the water, casting a warm, golden glow over everything. I took a deep breath and began to talk. I spoke about school, my worries, and how much I miss the way things used to be. Dad listened, really listened. For the first time in months, He realized how much his absence had affected us, and it stirred something within him. "I'm sorry, Liam," Dad said, his voice choked with emotion. "I've been so caught up in my own problems that I forgot to be there for you and your mum." "It's okay, Dad," I replied, my heart lighter. "We can get through this together." That day marked a turning point for our family. It wasn't easy, and there were still many challenges ahead, but we faced them as a team. Dad found odd jobs around town, slowly rebuilding his confidence. He mowed lawns, fixed leaky faucets, and even helped out at the local garage. Each job, no matter how small, seemed to bring a little bit of his old self back. Mum, with our support, found ways to manage the household stress. She started a small baking business, selling cookies and pies to neighbors and friends. The kitchen, once a place of tension, became a haven of warmth and delicious smells. We would spend evenings together, baking and laughing, the air filled with the scent of cinnamon and chocolate. My grades improved, and I regained my friends' support. They stood by me, helping me catch up with my studies and including me in their activities. I discovered that even in the darkest storms, there could be moments of calm and clarity. The teachers noticed the change in me and continued to offer their support, providing extra tutoring and encouragement. One day, as I stood by the lake, watching the sunset, I realized how much had changed. The water, once a mirror of my turmoil, now reflected the peaceful sky above. I knew that we would weather any storm as long as we had each other. Our family dinners became a time of sharing and connection again. We would talk about our days, our dreams, and our worries. The laughter that had been missing for so long returned, filling the house with warmth and light. We faced our challenges head on, together, finding strength in our bond. Dad started to teach me more about fixing things, passing on the skills that had once defined him. We spent weekends working on projects around the house, turning broken items into something new and useful. Each completed project was a testament to our resilience and determination. Mom's baking business grew, and soon we were delivering orders to people all over town. The community rallied around us, offering support and encouragement. It felt good to be part of something bigger, to know that we weren't alone in our struggles. Through it all, I learned that family isn't just about being there for the good times. It's about standing together in the face of adversity, finding strength in each other, and never giving up. No matter how dark the storm, there is always hope on the horizon. And as I stood by the lake, watching the last rays of the sun dip below the horizon, I knew that our family was stronger than ever. We had faced the heart of the storm and come out the other side, united and resilient. The future, once uncertain and daunting, now held the promise of brighter days ahead. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. If you want to share your story, write it down in the comments. Peace.